How do introverts get into relationships? Good question. I think, are you listening? I just heard you stop typing. So I'm like, okay. Okay. You are posed so precariously on a pile of books. I'm so nervous for you. We're going to work on sitting still, I guess, for this. Hi, everyone. I thought that we could do a little Q&A because, as you guys might know, I am traveling, so I'm sort of, not reading a whole lot. So I don't have a whole lot of new book content to talk about, but I thought we could just sit down and have a little chat because I don't do that too often. So I asked for some questions a while ago. I got a couple repeat questions, so I just kind of gathered the ones that were the most popular or ones I found interesting, and I'm just going to answer a couple of them. It is like summer here in Seoul right now. It's like 28 Celsius. It's like in the 80s, I guess. So the window is open. My husband is here drinking iced coffee. So if you hear typing or ice cubes, that's that. So apologies. We're just working with what we got, and we've got chaos. So, speaking of my husband, starting off with a question. Not all of these are book related. Most of them are, but got a lot of questions about like how did we meet, and then one thing I thought was funny. Calm down. He just went, oh God. And then the part that I thought was funny, which is how do introverts get into relationships? So as far as how we met, you can learn more about it on my main channel. We have like a couple Q&As and stuff. But we just met at work, like not super exciting. But as far as how do introverts get into relationships? Good question. I think, are you listening? I just heard you stop typing. So I'm like, okay. Okay. Okay, he's putting in his headphones. Good. So for me, how did it work? I guess like the way that every relationship I got into was through being in a smaller group where I was a little bit less introverted. So for example, like I was on the tennis team, and so like my first boyfriend I met, he was on the boys tennis team because we just practiced all the time together, and so it was a small group of people. And even though I was kind of an introvert, when you're in a smaller group of people, it's easier to be a little bit more yourself and meet people and get comfortable with people. Same thing with at work, at school, doing like a volunteer project, those kind of things is how kind of all of my relationships happened. And obviously we met at work, so kind of the same thing. But even with us at work, the way that we really became friends was that my roommate and I had a movie night every Thursday. So like we would invite some of our coworkers over and we would all watch movies together. So again, that's like a pretty introverted activity, like gathering to watch movies. But yeah, I think that's kind of for me how it is like find communities or spaces in which you feel comfortable, and then you'll find people through that, and perhaps someone that could be more than a friend kind of thing. That's really my only my only advice. So yeah, good luck. Luckily, Kurt was like slightly less introverted than me, and he asked me for coffee, and I accidentally brought one of my coworkers with me because I thought it was just like a friend coffee. He will not let me live it down, but we ended up okay. We're married, so it's okay. So yeah, that is that was the relationship question. Somebody asked something interesting. Dream genre to write in. I feel like the only two genres I'd be really comfortable writing in would be fantasy and like not even like a thriller, like just straight up a murder mystery, because those are what I grew up reading. And so it almost feels like that's my mother tongue. And I feel like if I try to write in something else, it would almost be like writing in my second language, which I'm not fluent in. Like that's a weird metaphor, but that's really how I feel, is that I'm I feel most natural reading and writing in those. I think that historical fiction, I do dream of writing historical fiction, but the amount of research that has to go into writing historical fiction properly. I actually remember with the book Kingdoms, that takes place, spoilers, but it takes place in a couple different time periods. And one of my friends was reading it, and she mentioned that it really threw her off that they used the term shell-shocked in an era before the term shell-shocked even happened. And like that level, I don't notice it, but there are people who notice that level of historical accuracy as far as just like the language that people use. And I know myself and I can't go that deep. So yeah, I would dream of writing historical fiction, but that just seems a little too much. If anything, I would do like a historical fiction fantasy so I could really, really change it up. But yeah, I feel like I grew up with like Agatha Christie and then a plethora of fantasy. So those are my like two comfort zones, and that's what I would write. And I am currently working on some fantasy stuff that may never see the light of day, but it's in my Scrivener. So favorite book trope. This is actually one that happened recently, and I realized how much I really enjoy it, and I enjoy it in like movies as well. This is just a great trope in general, but it's when somebody like accidentally shares their feelings in the heat of a moment, you know, when people are like arguing or they, you know, whatever happens, and somebody just like lets it slip what they're feeling. It always gives me like, do you know when you're reading and you get that little like stomach flip? Yeah. Okay. And then kind of veering away from the book questions is, do you compare where you're at in life with others your age? No. First of all, I like don't feel my age. I feel like I turned 30 in December 31st. And yeah, I do not feel my age, knowing I mean it's weird that the 30-year-olds, like all of my friends, I do feel like we're all the same age and the same maturity level. But when I think of like my cousin who is 10 years older than me, when she was 30, I thought that she was like had her whole, and she did actually have her whole life together and all this stuff, so much more so than me. And so yeah, I kind of can't compare, you know. There are so many I mean, if you look at like what's in it, like Lorde, for example, what did she win a Grammy when she was 17, you know? And here I am, what have I accomplished, you know? So no, I really don't, because I just like the people that I've met throughout my life, you really recognize that age is just a number, and people live in so many different ways and go through so many different things that force you to grow or kind of force you to become more childlike and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't try to compare myself. I really hate it when people are like, you are this age, you should or shouldn't be acting this way, because it's like, nope, that's just like it doesn't work that way. So yeah, I try very hard not to compare based on age. I think I also just grew up with, I had my friends that I went to school with, and then everyone else I've met through work or through life in general, they've either been much older than me or much younger than me as far as my friendships go. So yeah, age is just a number. How do you cope with burnout, setting boundaries with YouTube, etc.? Coping with burnout, that's hard because I am not very good at recognizing burnout until I'm like deep in it. And I also have this issue that I am happiest when I am producing things, when I'm working on things, etc. Like for example, today is Saturday, and today was supposed to be a day where we didn't have anything planned, and I had, you know, finished editing everything else. I'm just waiting on emails back from brands on my other channel and stuff like that. And I was sitting down, I was going to start reading, and then I was like, no, I have enough time. I should film the Q&A now kind of thing. So I always find pockets of time to be working. I try to fill my time. So I don't know. I'm not the best person to ask about that, but some things that do help is having a like dance party and solo karaoke night at home really helps. Just put on all of your favorite songs and sing along. Really, really helps me. I have started stretching at like right before bed. I put on there's all these playlists on Spotify that are like dark academia, all of this like wonderful classical music. And I'll put that on and I'll just do some stretching. Basically just trying to get yourself back in the present, and just kind of living in that moment. My problem is that my brain is always like so far in the future. So I feel like that's what burns me out the most, is planning. And then by the time I actually get to the thing that I've planned, I'm so tired of it. So yeah, just practicing little things that keep you in the moment has really helped. Going for walks, listening to podcasts, just being aware of like the day around you, like check the weather, go outside. That does really help. And then as far as, giving yourself permission to take a break, that is something that I'm still working on. Absolutely. I'm a little bit stressed thinking about how you guys aren't going to have a video for 2 weeks, but I'm trying to let it go because I deserve a vacation, right? Right. So yeah, if you guys have, burnout tips, let me know. And then as far as setting boundaries with YouTube, specifically booktube, this is something that I do. Like the reason that I have been skipping a few weeks here and there is because I, like, even from the get-go, from when I started this channel, I really, really, really wanted to make sure that I didn't lose my love of reading. Like I didn't want to put my channel before my just like natural love of reading. And so if I have a slow month, I don't want to force myself to make some kind of reading content. I would end up like not enjoying the book that I read, or I would feel a pressure to finish a book or something like that. So as far as booktube, I'm trying to be very firm with my boundaries as far as like, if it feels forced, don't do it. Don't try and finish a book if you don't like it. Don't try and whatever. Like I still want to keep that love of reading, because I've seen just so many booktubers talk about that burnout of you start to hate reading, and I'm like, I can't. I can't. So yeah, that is my main thing as far as keeping my boundaries is booktube. Still want to love the books. And then last question, which was like the most popular question, is everyone wants to know what we're doing in Paris. Are we going anywhere else? So by the time that this is up, we are in Paris. Yes. So the long story is that we were going to go to Paris in May of 2020. And obviously something happened in 2020 and we canceled our flight. We finally got the refund, and we have to use it this year. So we're going now. And yeah, we're going to Paris. I'm going to do a like long weekend short solo trip over to London. I'm going to see a couple people, going to see, like, I just haven't been to London since I was 13. I've been multiple times to both London and Paris and like the surrounding areas of each city. But it's been so long. So I'm really excited to just see the city and kind of remember it, because I always went with my family, and so like they, specifically my mom, kind of made plans of what we were going to do and I just kind of followed. So this is going to be my first time really being in charge, and I've found that when I'm the one in charge of the trip, I remember so much more, or like I at least have more of an understanding of where I am in the city kind of thing. Like when I was planning this trip, I looked at a map of London and I had it so backwards. I thought that the Tower of London was on the west side and I kept looking for it. I'm like, where did it go? It's on the east side. So I had it like totally flipped. So I'm really excited for that. So yeah, Paris, a little bit of London. And then this wasn't planned, but we just decided, screw it. While we're there, we're going to take a long train to Florence. And then while we're in Florence, we might go see a couple cities nearby there. And then we're going to take the train to Venice. And I haven't been to Venice in 10 years. Wow. So yeah, we're gonna go to Venice, and if you guys know, one of my favorite books as a kid was The Thief Lord. So I'm, God, I can like feel my throat closing up even talking about it. Like, it's just like absolutely insane that a city that was such a part of my childhood, like a childhood dream, the fact that I was able to go there and now I'm going back again, like I can't even talk about it. I'm just gonna cry the whole trip. Like I know Venice is kind of filled with tourists, but it's just such a magical place to see, and we're staying there so like I can wake up early and walk around before all the tourists come, and it's just I'm so excited. And then we don't have anything planned for the rest of our trip. We still have like a full week at the end where we're probably going to go back to Paris. But if we don't, Kurt is interested in going down to maybe Nice or something. I would love to go to Strasbourg because I think that that's another city that just doesn't look real. I know a couple people have mentioned Normandy. I've been to Normandy and like Mont Saint-Michel and stuff like that, but I feel like I would need a car to really do it justice, and I don't want to drive. So we're just going to do train trips. But yeah, confirmed Paris, London, Florence, Venice. And then I'm definitely going to take a side trip to go to Giverny because the last time we were in Paris, there was a train strike and we couldn't go. And I love Monet. So I'm so excited. I hope we get good weather so that I can go there. And I will be vlogging it. So if you want all of my vlogs, I will put them on my main channel. And yeah, a lot of people were like, meet up with Jack Edwards. And I actually did message him, but I don't want to like spoil anything, but we're not going to be in the same city at the same times. Basically, we're going to be ships passing in the night. So another time, but we tried to make it happen. I'm sorry. But yeah, exciting times. I just can't, I can't explain to you. I feel like a lot of you guys, because I started my channel in 2020, like you guys know me as post-pandemic, like, or current and post-pandemic Cari, but like my whole life before 2020 was international travel. And living in Korea, it was really easy to pop over to Japan or go to Hong Kong or Singapore or something. So that was really, my whole life has always been either reading or traveling. I just feel like I'm kind of returning to who I am. And I can't explain it, but I'm just so excited. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for understanding and all of your supportive messages as far as letting me take this vacation. And thank you for your questions. And yeah, I will see you guys when? In June, I guess. So yeah, thank you as always. Hope you're all doing well, reading some good things, and hopefully you guys are getting some travel, whether it's through a book or, actually going somewhere. Yeah, I will see you later. Bye.